Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the yogic therapy, and we have a very special guest with us, who is an expert in the yogic therapy and who has been practicing yoga since many years. So, hello, ma'am. Can you just introduce yourself, like what you do and how?
Hi Jay, thanks for the opportunity. This is Padma Priyadharsini, a founder of Yogatathva, which
Yeah.
basically runs based on yogic therapy and practices for the health and wellness. So
Mhm.
I've been doing this practice for last 10 years. I've been teaching yoga for kids, women, men, and for a common crowd. And now I've started a lot of practice around therapy based on mental ailments, physical ailments, and my strengths would lie around spinal strength, how you can keep your spine straight, how you manage your pain management therapy there. So
Mhm.
basically I have done my acupuncture, MD in my acupuncture, and MSc in yoga therapy. And
Mhm.
I have done several YTTC certifications with Alliance, with Yoga Alliance US. And now I've been practicing in the name of Yogatathva and
Mhm.
helping people in India as well as across the world. I have a 5+ community of people who I work with, and I do a lot of one-to-one session with across spaces and across countries.
Okay. So, what exactly is yoga therapy? Like we have heard about yoga as a practice, but what is the therapy? So is it something related to just not the uh, physical fitness, or also about the mental fitness? Like what exactly it is?
So before I go to yoga therapy, I will just tell
Hmm.
you what yoga actually does. So now in this period of time, people think yoga is a physical practice
Yeah.
which keeps your body hale and healthy. But
Hmm.
the actual intention of yoga is to keep your mind, body, and soul in sync. So when these three things are in sync,
Hmm.
you will have a you will have a clarity in your life, and you will have a specific purpose of your living, and which internally makes you satisfied and happier. So that is
Hmm.
the main goal of yoga. And spiritually, when you speak about it, you connect with the oneness of the nature. So that is, you connect with Jivatma, with Paramatma. Those are the main intentions,
Hmm.
where 10% of it lies on the physical activity. So now the yoga was traditionally was a therapy. People who were practicing yoga, siddhas, siddhis, yogis, yoginis, all of them, they were giving therapeutic approach for people who are suffering from the misalignment and in unsync of their mind and body, which causes pain in their body and
Hmm.
which causes mental effectiveness. It was a traditional practice and nothing we have changed now. And when you say yoga therapy, basically yoga is for a particular person. It doesn't
Hmm.
align with a group of people. It is a particular person, how he observes it and what he understands about it and how he practices on his own. It is based on the self realization practice. But if you see now, for last 300 years, we have lost the connectivity of the purpose of yoga, how we
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
practice it.
Because yoga is a school of thought, like it's a school of philosophy of Hinduism,
Yes,
and
yes,
its main motive was spirituality. It's a spiritual development, but now it
yeah.
has become a more material development about body and mind. So,
Correct.
what do you think of that?
Spiritual awakening was one of the main
Yeah,
objective of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But when people who are suffering out of ailments,
Mhm.
so therapy was given to them so that they come out of the ailment and then they start practicing towards the spiritual awakening. It was there in olden days as well. So
Mhm.
now therapy will align with a specific person who actually in a space of mind, in a space of body where they are suffering, or they wanted some direction to go forward and present themselves better than how they were now.
Mhm.
So when, for example, a person who is suffering from pain, like basically now most of them have lower back pain because of the occupation. So when they come, we analyze what is the problem with them, what are the chakras that is having a block, what is their
Mm.
vada, pitta, kaba, how their analysis, diagnosis we do, and then we provide a few sessions customized for them with pranayam and specific asanas and simple movements for them to start off with. We give
Mm.
them a very personalized session. It will be a one-to-one session, like 1 or 2, 3 sessions we will sit to them. In the third to fourth session itself, a person sees an enormous improvement of their current state, and it will be a holistic approach for the body, whether he complains about specific things or whether he doesn't complain. It covers all of it, and once you learn this customized technique, it is going to be a lifelong practice that you're going to practice, and
Mm.
you will be always in sync with your body and mind, and to maintain hale and healthy process. So
Yeah.
how important yoga therapy is what Yoga Tattva is going to spread across the world, because now there are so many things that is aligned in where yoga therapy is still working towards its path. So
Mm.
that is the reason I have taken this journey and dedicated my time and my space on this to help people on a overall basis how to live and better version of them.
Yeah. But when we think about yoga, we think that it's something that is about too much of discipline and too much like daily routine and all. So, like, is it really necessary for a person, let's say, who sleeps at midnight and wakes up at afternoon? How can he, can he do yoga? Like, or he has to wake up in the Brahma Muhurta and just do all the yogic practices during the Brahma Muhurta? Or is it something like, yeah.
Understood. So yoga is designed for a human how to bring himself in a better version. So whatever the aspects and the strategies that is defined in yoga, it is going to help him for a better version, and he will
Mm.
feel comfort and content with that. In case, for an example, I'll take a practical example. A person who has to do a night shift job. Okay, somebody has to do that job, right?
Yeah, because yeah.
So yeah. So how he has to align with the practices that he is doing. See, yoga has enormous asanas and disciplinary, everything falls into one small space. Okay, it's
Mm.
just a 10% of it. But you have a 90% of the mental mindset, how you understand about yoga. Okay, the philosophy behind yoga, how it is going to help the human version. So once you understand that, what is necessary for your mind, what is necessary for your body, what is the time you have to work on, what is the time your body requires sleep. If you understand that,
Yeah.
everything is beyond. You can work like 16 to 18 hours, and you can go into a deep mode of sleep in 3 to 4 hours. So it
Mm.
is possible, and people are doing it elsewhere. So, and the practices of yoga, you have to follow to the betterment of yourself. That is why I say it is not a group practice. It's not a rule that everybody has to get up at this point of time, do their practices. It is not defined like that. It is the understanding and the self realization of a person, and once he gets that, he has to understand what is the right thing for him to do, and
Mm.
what are the right techniques for him to practice, and that is where yoga therapy will help. So earlier also siddhas and siddhis were doing this. They will
Yeah.
help them, people who are suffering with too much of workload. What are the practices they have to do? They help them. And it was a school of education, no? When the kid is born, uh, the guru does not go and immediately teach him the asanas.
No.
Okay, he is let into the gurukula, and he is being observed what is the personality
Yeah,
of a
it's a slow
person.
process. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and based on the personality of a person, the guru just guides him. These are the practices that you need to follow. They also identify the interest and the
Mm.
goal that the kid develops within itself. And one of the most important thing is, for my kids session, I used to tell them, teaching yoga practices is not very important than saving their childhood presence of mind. So
Yeah.
the kids have a slight of a mindfulness which a guru is supposed to save that and bring towards the growth. So that is the main objective when it comes, because basically the human body is designed for that. I'll give you a very good example. If you see a very close animal, like for example, chimpanzees, apes, if you see, they cannot touch their index finger and their
Yeah, they cannot
thumb.
do it. Yeah.
They cannot touch because the this represents Paramatma and this
Mhm.
represents Jivatma. Okay, so when this sense of both gets touched, it is technically proven that your pressure level comes down, your thought process comes down, and you have a very deep breath, than which other animals cannot do. So when human is born, he has this sense of touch where he could do certain mudras and get
Mhm.
into a certain state of level where he could breathe freely, he could settle his thoughts, he need not wander about the thoughts, he can control his obstacles. And
Mhm.
also other three fingers represents this finger will represent a physical, and this finger is a, we wear rings, right, engagement rings. It's because
Mhm.
this represents the emotions, and the other this finger represents the ego. So when we go into especially a chin mudra and we do our practices, it means the objective of us is to meet the jivatma to paramatma, where we leave all our ego, emotions, and our physical materialistic uh, aspects and attraction towards, we just leave that and we concentrate on that. This concentration piece which helps us, it happens only with us. So that is where we are.
But
That's how.
yes, so the we can see majorly yoga is used for the physical benefits, but we have heard a lot and we have read in the scriptures about the spiritual and the mental benefits. But how exactly technically does yoga help? Like, what happens actually with the process? Like doing physical asanas, how do that help spiritually or mentally? Like, what is the connection between the physical yogic practices?
So basically, when we speak about it, I need to slightly touch base upon the subconscious and the conscious mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So when a person comes with an ailment, okay, when we undiagnose him with an ailment, no, the practically I'm speaking now, people come to yoga only if they have some ailment. Okay,
Yeah,
there is no,
majorly.
there is a lot of ignorance, or there
Mhm.
is no awareness about the objectives and goals that they have to work towards.
Yeah.
Okay, so now also when they come in, we understand where they have stuck, what is the problem, what are the lifestyle aspects they were not following properly,
Mhm.
and slowly we start working on their breathing practices. So while we breathe, okay, so the breath, when you do a proper yogic breathing practices itself, a very simple breathing itself, it settles all of your thought, all of your actions, and
Mhm.
anxieties that you develop. So this is how subconscious and conscious mind works. So they have to work together. Conscious and
Mhm.
subconscious mind has to work together. Okay. So there are something that conscious mind holds, like thoughts,
Mhm.
feelings, and emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, so when a thought comes, okay, so
Yeah.
the when you keep on multiplying the thought, for example, you are seeing a girl and you like the girl.
Mhm.
Okay, you just see the girl and you just think, oh, this girl looks beautiful, that is a thought. Okay,
Yeah.
then slowly you will start a feeling towards the girl. Oh, I have a slight a feeling towards the girl. Okay, that will become a feeling, and slightly you get attached to her, so you wanted
Mhm.
to talk to her, share your emotions more with her, and you then realize you have fallen for her, and then comes the love. Okay, so the love is the emotion. So what happens, this thought has generated a feeling and generated an emotion, and emotions are deep into the subconscious mind. So subconscious mind has a lot of activities, involuntary
Mhm.
activities like breathing, heartbeat. These are the main activities. You maintaining your organs, blood circulation. And
Yeah.
if you give a lot of thoughts, this is one thought I'm speaking about. There are more than 10 million thought at a second moving here and there
Yeah.
in your
Especially when we
subconscious.
are into a very deeper state of meditation, we become aware of so many thoughts. Like it's
Yeah,
like a chaos going on in the
yeah.
mind. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, so when there are a lot of thoughts, what happens? It's kind of a distraction for us. It's
Mhm.
definitely
It's
a
a risk.
distraction, and that is where your body just moves apart and your mind moves apart, because your mind is running faster towards something which is very diversified.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a focus, and the body slightly moves apart. When this
Mhm.
involuntary actions gets impacted, it slowly shows you a symptom of disease, or it surely shows you a symptoms of pain or suffering. And that is where this works. And how yoga helps here. So when doing a small yogic practice like breathing,
Mhm.
what happens is immediately settles down your thought. And the practices, we will always tell them, you should not neither control your thought nor multiply your thought. So slight meditation activities, relaxation slowly settles the fastness of your conscious mind. And when the deepening objective of yoga practices will give you a passion and a goal that you have to set and work
Mhm.
towards it. It can be a spiritual awakening, or it can be a passion which you wanted to do. So basically we will try to make the person happier within, deeply. If you identify his passion, that is what even in gurukulas guru will do. The guru
Mhm.
will identify the kid's passion and ask him to work towards it. So always a warrior will have a warrior goal. Okay. So always a dancer will have a dancer goal. They were very clear on what is their path. So now the path is not clear. So there are a lot of diversity. That is where it is impacting the health, because the body mind it doesn't get sync. So this, with small breathing practices itself, we can work towards it. When we go to asanas, each and every asana has a very deep philosophy behind it, why the asana is designed that way. For example, uh,
Like
I'm not
Padmasan,
sure
I
whether,
think, yeah,
yeah, Padmasana,
yeah,
or
is
I
considered as a very
slightly,
important asana for meditation, during meditation.
yes,
Yeah.
Padmasana. And I
Mhm.
wanted to go slightly physical, because now people are doing all physical asanas like warrior pose, tree pose, child
Yeah, yeah,
pose, all those poses they are doing. Even all those pose has a spiritual attachment with that, which actually works on their conscious and subconscious. When you go into a warrior pose, it
yeah. Mhm.
actually, you should actually develop a strength in your mind to, to stay in that posture. You
Mhm.
should become strong. You should make your lower part of the body strong. You should nicely open up your chest and breathe, which subconsciously builds a strength and strongness within you. People who are
Mhm.
inferior has lower confidence levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so we identify them and put them in such asanas. So they work towards their body, and they work
Yeah.
towards their mind and their breathing also. So it's an enormous combination of technique which will work on the human system. So we have many different systems that works on the human body, but it is all working separately, which does not give a holistic approach to it. But when it comes to yoga, it gives a holistic approach, and that is how it helps the human. That is how many people see a lot of difference when they start doing asanas and breathing
Yeah, yeah.
and meditation.
And yeah, of course, there's connection between body and mind, because once the body starts getting stable, even the mind slowly, steadily starts becoming stable. But does yoga? How does yoga help in a more spiritual way? Like, okay, we can say that it calms your mind. So does calming of mind increase our uh, awareness towards a real goal, towards knowing our own self? Like, how does exactly spiritually it helps? Because it
Yeah.
is considered as a spiritual school of thought
Yes.
as per
So
ancient times. Yeah.
when you start to do yoga itself, for example, if you're starting to a meditation technique, if you're starting, the main objective there is to set your goal. So
Mm.
once, because why, how it helps, I'll tell you. So there are three things, that three principles that you have when you speak spiritually and scientifically also, a technique. Okay, how you have to keep your mind settled. You have three things. One is emptying your mind. Okay.
Mm.
The other one is being, that is emptying your mind is lowering your thoughts, zero
Yeah.
thoughts. And the other thing is specifying our passion and goal in life. Okay. And the third thing is the gratitude that you have. Okay, so slightly it is deeper. I'm just going a little bit deeper to explain how it is
But
working on the
when we
spiritual.
talk about the goals and passion of life, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
that's where I'm coming.
having a more material passion means that you are not having a calmer, like a zero thought mind, because the very concept of having a passion proves that the mind
See,
is running.
that is where I'm coming. Sarah, there are three principles. Either you can empty your thought, either you have
Hmm.
to follow a goal, or either you have to have a gratitude. Gratitude is 100% acceptance.
Hmm.
So, emptying your thought is going to be impossible. Only very few people
Yeah,
reach their zero thoughts. But goals is something common that we can work towards. But it is also a kind of difficulty where you can or not always think about goals. There will be thoughts coming towards. If
and
you are
they
a
are
human,
ever changing. Even the goals are ever changing. Like, okay, there
no,
can be one
they
big
have
goal.
a lot of diversities. They
Yeah,
have a lot of diversity in goals. So that will also impact the goal.
and mainly
So
goals are defined by our own ego, by our own desires, and by our own greed. So it also affects the goals that we want to target.
yeah, because the goals are decided based on so number of thoughts. You have
Yeah, yeah,
diversified thoughts, and you will not believe each thought will have a goal,
yeah.
and
That's it.
how much confused our body
And
is.
that's a major problem with the modern material world, that there are so
Mm.
many goals, infinite number of goals, and everyone wants to complete all the goals. And when they are not
Mm.
able to complete them, they become depressed or sad.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And the third thing I speak about is the gratitude. So, which everybody has to develop, which is feasible for us to do. So, gratitude itself, gratitude means there are four aspects of it. Like you don't complain. You have a temporary thankfulness, and you will also have a deep from within. You have a gratefulness. Always, you will feel
also
happy about it.
compassion. Yeah.
So when a person becomes happier
Mhm.
with a specific action items that he does, he has to understand that is the thing that gives happiness to him, and
Yeah.
that is where he has to move his path towards. And when he makes his path and goal very clear on the action which makes him satisfactory and happy, then your thought will slightly get aligned. You will arrange your subconscious mind. Arranging your subconscious mind is not that easy. You have to go in this path, and
Yeah.
then your subconscious mind will arrange, and then only you can, there will be some questions that will arise within yourself. Okay, I did my actions, I am happy now, what is next? Okay, so when that next question comes for a person in his mind, then it is subconsciously will take him to the spiritual path. There is nothing that external implications are required. A human is born to die. Okay,
Yeah.
a soul is there to
Every
move
living
away
being
from.
is going to die
Yeah,
one
so
day.
that is a natural process that
But
will
the
take you
soul
there.
has the permanent existence, which is
Yeah,
beyond death.
so that's a very natural purpose that happens. There is nothing, nobody can impact it, but
Yeah.
you should not be an obstacle for yourself, and you should not suffer within the thoughts, and multiplying your thoughts into your mind and bringing the body and mind in sync. When it is unsync, especially people who are old, they have Parkinson's, they have a lot of
Mhm.
anxiety,
Alzheimer's
depression.
and yeah.
Because, yeah, because all this problem arises because of this sense that is apart from the body and apart from the mind.
Yeah.
So that is how a spiritual goal gets into, and it should be an individual's space. So and, he will ask the question for himself, and he will has to travel his own path. So that is how it happens.
Yeah. Because
Hope I answered your question.
because the thing is, when the desire or the goals are more material or more defined through our own ego or greed, what happens is all the yogic powers or whatever powers are getting activated can be used for malefic activities. So
Yes.
that is also really important, that the main goal should be spirituality. That should be a very main thing, because any other goal will
No,
be.
actually, I will also tell you one thing here. So there is no negative thought that will lead you to spiritual awakening, because
Yeah.
you have something called, I told you the three things, right? The gratitude that is 100% acceptance of the situations you are in. 100% acceptance of the people that you are surrounded with. So when that comes in, there is, it means whatever people negatively do to you, you will always react positively only. So there is only a positive note that is existed there. So
Yeah.
that is a basic thing. Then only you can, move into the spiritual path. And also, I will tell you my experience and my opinion on the studies, that the researches that I have made, there is nothing right and there is nothing wrong. If you are having a very strong body and a very strong mind, if you are in sync, and if you have a thought, whether it is good or whether it is bad, because it doesn't know, the existence doesn't know what is good, what is bad.
Yeah.
We face calamities also, right?
Hmm.
But if it knows, it doesn't, we need not have tsunami at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't know what is right or wrong. If you have a thought, whether it is good or bad, if you traverse towards the passion as that, you will achieve that. But that is where the reactions, actions, and equal and opposite reactions comes in place. So
Yeah, the
when you
theory
do
of
something
karma. Yeah.
negative, yeah, when you do something negative, it will wait and it come back to you. So that is why
It is
the
really
cycle of
important
karma
that
comes.
these great tools like yoga and meditation, all those things, the target should be more about self-realization and spirituality rather than targets which are defined by our own bad qualities, because that will just ruin it more.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's the thing.
So
Also, do you think
people,
that yeah,
yes, go ahead, Jay, go
no, do
ahead.
you think the like the real yogic practices are getting lost in today's time? Like, where does the real yoga stand? Like the yoga, which was considered in today's world, like where does it stand? Like in the
So,
scientific world, in this atheistic, materialistic world, where does this yogic
so
practice?
my personal opinion is, so many years,
Yeah,
these practices were not done. They were stopped, they were asked to stop, and it was not passed properly. There were no
yeah,
relevant notes. There are few notes which not everybody can understand,
no,
but we passed all of this, and still we are discussing about it here. Okay,
yeah.
this stage.
And I
So
think
I
maybe
believe,
300 years back, maybe someone might have discussed the same thing, maybe in different form.
yes,
So
no,
I think this
because
has been, yeah, yeah. But I
this
think
will never,
nowadays
this
things are
this will,
getting, yeah, yeah. So,
yeah, this will never fade off, because it doesn't come out from an external space. It is coming from your mind. So it
hmm,
will never ever fade off. It is going to be existed there. So earlier, the culture, the Indian culture, we had a lot of siddhis, yogis, and yoginis.
yeah,
Okay, they were teaching, because it was not even, it is like brushing your teeth. Okay, every day we
yeah,
do that, right? It is something like that they were following, and in future it is going to come back, and I see a lot of people
yeah.
who
I
are
think
coming
yes, yes,
there.
it has increased a lot, especially in last. If we look at the last 5 years, things have really
Yes,
been different. But the main focus, it should not happen that the quantity increases, but the quality is not there. Like the main focus
yeah,
is spirituality, while the focus should not be just to get a slim body or good hair. Like so, that
yes,
that is
yes.
a very major
So
thing.
there we need a lot of people who have to come and tweet if they have a
The
good
yoga,
realization.
spirituality, philosophy, all these things should go hand in hand. It should not be,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, it should go in hand. When you start, when people come to my class, I will first tell them how they have to focus on their eating habits. Okay,
yeah.
so how they have to focus on to the, so
Because if
basically
someone is
teaching the
let's say
awareness.
yeah, 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 someone is non-vegetarian, so he will have this tamas qualities more or rajas
Yes,
qualities more, and that will
yes,
affect the mind and the body in that same way. So it is really important to be to have sattvic diet, to have a sattvic lifestyle. Then
yeah.
only these things will help the person. Yeah,
And we will not tell them directly what they have to do. We'll just
no,
tell
no,
them just the awareness of what the body wants, what their mind wants.
hmm,
Okay, so there are certain practices that you can follow, and so that the person himself realizes it, and there will be an enormous change of a person. The habits will change, It will be, the only thing is it is not difficult is what I'm telling. So when people
Mhm.
do a difficult pose, they say, oh my God, why this pose is
Like
so bad?
the
Yoga,
Mayurasan, let's say Mayurasan is such a
yes,
difficult thing, or
yeah,
Sirshasan is difficult. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So it is not necessary that every person has to do that. And I will also tell it, it is very easy when you learn it in the way that you have to learn. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so when you are much more slower, much more thoughtless, the body just opens up the cells and it gives away the stillness and gives away more strength, where you can slowly leverage the flexibility of your body and keep on performing asanas. So that's how the body reacts. But when you are like, no, no, I have to do it, this asana has to come, it doesn't work that way. The
No.
stillness is what it works. You have to go into a deep relaxation state, understand your body, understand your chakras, understand your thoughts. So there is a lot of things that you have to learn about yourself.
Yeah,
Then slowly try to blossom in that.
yeah, true, true. And like, let's say someone who has never practiced yoga or who is completely new to yoga, what would be your tips about like how should he start or follow, or what should he do like initially? Just some tips that what he should be keeping in mind, like some certain important things, like yeah.
So recently, I had in last 6 years, I've been doing this yoga therapy, and
Hmm.
I saw one thing in people that they were so much they developed so much of ignorance within them
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they don't know. So first, we need to clear out the ignorance what they have. So how you have to do to
yeah.
clear out is that I've just launched from Jan. I've just launched some meditation techniques. Okay, just a
Hmm.
practice of meditation. I've just launched it. It's a pattern of 21 days of practice. Okay, anybody can do it. If you are just having some 15 minutes of time in a day, you can just come to the session and do it. See, it basically, the session has I will just ask them to sit and observe their breathing. So many years from your birth, you are breathing, okay? And until your death, it is going to continue. But you don't know how you breathe. What is the, how much you inhale, how much you exhale, how deep you inhale. If you ask such questions, they don't know. Then also they don't know what is happiness for them. They don't have a goal.
Yeah, that's a very
Okay,
important subject.
so when I ask, are you happy? What is the, because they are just stuck around the materialistic world, running for some things which it is unnecessary for them. So these questions will slightly probe and we will ask them to observe and do some breathing activities. So they will slowly start to open up.
Hmm.
That open space will slowly lead the way to yoga. And it is a natural process. Once you
Hmm.
just tell them, this is how you have to do a breathing practice, this is how you have to, you can do it anytime. It's just 1 or 2 minutes in a day. And in a lifetime, if you do a meditation activities for 2 to 3 minutes, that is more than enough for your realization of this birth. So it has
Hmm.
that much of intense concentration. To develop that concentration, you have to reduce your thoughts, and you should not control your thoughts for reducing. You just need to be a witness of yourself, observe what your involuntary actions are, what is, how is your breathing, what is, how is your blood flows around your body, what is your
Hmm.
ankles, your toes, how it is feeling, where is the stiffness in your body. All those things you just need to observe. So any practically, if there is any problem that is coming to our life, or if let's take a math problem, how we approach the problem. Okay, we just sort it to a simple numbers, and then
Yeah,
we divide it, and then we multiply it, and then we achieve what we want. So simplicity is what is the
yeah,
solution
that's
for
good. Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So even in yoga it is the same, and a person who comes in, he has to follow a very simple technique, so that his body opens up, his heart opens up, his mind becomes opens up, and then he will start working towards it.
Yeah. True, true. So the main tip is about ignorance. Don't be ignorant about what exactly is yoga and meditation. Read about it more. Ask a master or anyone who is expert in it. The second tip was that focus on the breathing and focus on the body. And a third tip was to just be try to reach the state of thoughtlessness,
Yes.
which might seem very impossible, but there are people who have reached it.
There are
So
many yoga practitioners, and
yeah,
it is always better to do yoga with a yoga practitioner instead
mm,
of looking on a YouTube and practicing it. Because when you look onto YouTube and practice it, it is just an exercise. But
yeah.
when you have a person,
To
he
have a very deeper
exactly guides
understanding
you.
is important. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he just during the asana itself, he will just guide you into the asana, how you have to do it. So that opens up your mind. When your mind opens up, your body also opens up. So that's how
Mm,
it works. So that is
true,
also a tip, that you have to
yeah.
find a person for yourself.
It's really great. We had a very good discussion about anything else you would like to say, like related to yoga or yogic practices.
uh, I in Yogatathva, I am working on a mission and vision that I am looking forward. I wanted to take it to several million peoples across the world how a therapy works, and I also wanted to be a part of the medical systems that we exist at this point of time.
Yeah,
So
what
people,
does yeah I had this question that what does science or the medicinal uh, like people say about yoga? Like what where does yoga stand when in respect to science?
So yoga has a very good status in scientific aspects because we have a lot of proven, especially in foreign countries, they had a lot of research on people who have done yoga, and they found that there is enormous improvement on the health aspects, including cancer patients. So when the body and mind get syncs up, they also see a cancer patient recovering back very nicely. So uh, there is no doubt there. And now people recommend, like how a person goes into a orthopediatrician having surgeries. When they come back, people recommend therapy, yoga therapy, for their mindset. People who go under this radiology for cancer treatments, they recommend to go to a yoga therapist and take a yoga therapy, like how you do it with a physiotherapist is
Mm,
just a physical exercise he's going to do. But
right.
now each and every doctor who are very good, and allopathy doctor or ayurvedic doctor, they all recommend, ma'am, also you have to do yoga. So when, because they all know that that works with the mindset of a patient. And then if a patient has a problem, it is basically based on his mind, the brain's instruction to its organs.
Yeah,
So when yoga definitely has a very good space and helps those people who are suffering on it. And I
mm.
think medical system also supports them a lot.
And I think
Every doctor
the
out.
yeah, and also the way neuroscience is developing, I think they will get more information through the ancient yoga of India. Yeah, I feel like
Yes.
both should go hand in hand and should help each other to prosper more. Yeah,
There are
in
a
the
lot
future.
of research centers, the enormous research centers working on yoga.
Yeah,
So, and they are also there are a lot of education systems that though they had initial struggles, now they have a very good established space
yeah, I
where
think
they
it
are
has
working.
improved a lot, especially if we look at the foreign countries, where in every lane you will see a yoga school or yoga ashram or anything. Like
Yes,
the popularity is enormous of yoga. The only thing
yes.
is the right focus about what yoga wants to teach should be there,
Mm,
because it should not just go away from the focus and go towards something that is not its main philosophy. So it is
yes,
that is really important. Yeah.
yes.
So
True, true, true.
yeah, it was an amazing podcast. Thank you so much. And we can talk about some other topic about yoga in the future whenever we get time.
Yeah, yoga is a very big topic. We can just deep dive into each of it.
Yeah, yeah, true,
So
true, true. Yeah,
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 so definitely we will do that. And thanks for the opportunity, Jay. It was a
yeah.
very
Thank you so
nice
much for
session with you.
taking your time for the discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
thank you.
do have my regular sessions, morning, regular daily sessions,
Yeah,
evening
I'll
daily sessions.
like in the description, I'll add your Instagram link so that anyone can
Yeah.
follow you and DM you regarding uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
the courses you have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks a
Thank you
lot,
so much. Yeah,
Jay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.